It's 65 Roses Day, a day when we draw attention to cystic fibrosis, a disease that affects more than 3,000 people in Australia. The Perkin family have 2 children with the disease and another one carrying the gene. And reporter Mike Dalton spent the morning with them.
Every morning starts and sounds the same for Alison Perkin and her 2 eldest, Thomas and William, as together they fight cystic fibrosis. What's going on with William here? What are you doing here?
This is what we call chest percussion physiotherapy. Purpose is to loosen the mucus that is sitting on his lungs, especially when he's been sleeping all night.
You better explain what Thomas is doing at the moment.
Thomas is doing what we call a PEP mask, and it's basically what I'm doing here, but it's a breathing device. It works on a resistance, breathing technique and resistance.
Do mornings differ for you when you're doing this treatment? Do you notice that some mornings are worse than others?
Yeah, there's definitely, you'll have I guess for me, of a morning, just through maybe the sound of a cough, I realise, what's up with this child today? If the boys are getting a cold, we run that risk of it turning into a chest infection to the point that they might require to be hospitalised and have intravenous antibiotics.
So I would imagine that your ears are open pretty much every morning.
All the time, yeah.
The slightest change.
I'm very tuned. I feel that I'm very tuned in. Even of a night time, I can hear them breathing.
Well, Alison and Ben Perkin join us now, along with their 4 beautiful children, Thomas, William, Emily, and baby Samuel down there. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Just if you could, Alison and Ben, I'll start with you, Alison, take us back to when Tom was first born. You had no idea that you were carrying the gene, did you, the cystic fibrosis gene?
No, there was no history of CF in our family. And at that time, we just had lots of concerns of why I had such a small baby, he wasn't growing. And after going backwards and forwards to doctors, we finally had him diagnosed with cystic fibrosis when he was 3.5 months old.
And your thoughts at that stage, Ben?
I guess a bit of shock, a little bit of grief, but I guess then we had to pick ourselves up and get on with it.
But then tell me how it felt when William came along, only to find that he as well suffers from cystic fibrosis.
Well, we were always going to have more children, and we always knew that there was a risk that there was going to be CF, but cystic fibrosis is a lonely disease because of the risk of cross-infection. So I guess there are a lot of bad things about it, but possibly a companion for Thomas, somebody to understand what he was going through.
How does it impact on your day-to-day life?
Every day there's struggles with their diet. I need to make sure they're eating a really high-fat diet, lots of extra protein and carbohydrates. There's the struggle with all their medications every day. There's physiotherapy to be doing every day. I have to ensure they're dressed correctly before they go outside because I don't want them to get cold, because to get unwell, again, it's just not being sick. It might require going to hospital and having intravenous antibiotics, etc. And there's also every day there's that struggle of who they might be socialising with in case someone else might cross-infect them with something.
Which is so hard with children, isn't it? Because they're always in such close contact with each other, and
sure,
that must just be a huge concern for you every day.
Yeah. Well, most of our friends, or all of our friends, know that if any of them are sick, that we shouldn't have our children around their children or anything.
Now, Emily was born not long after, 2 years after William, and she, I understand, is a gene carrier, but not a sufferer.
That's correct.
And then little Samuel here, who came 2 years later, he is completely free, isn't it?
He is. He doesn't carry any of the genes.
And there's something very beautiful about him being free of the disease that might help you down the track. Tell us about that.
Yes, we had the opportunity of storing Samuel's cord blood, and it was vital for us to store that through stem cell research. In the future, it has the potential of helping these 2 children live a lot longer because it has that potential of growing them new lungs, because the day will come where they both possibly will need a lung transplant. And because we've got that cord blood from Samuel being their sibling, then that's a really good match for if it comes to that they need to grow those lungs.
Of course. Today is, as we mentioned, 65 Roses Day. We should perhaps mention how that name came about.
I think it was a little boy who had a bit of trouble with his sister's condition, cystic fibrosis, and all he could say was 65 roses.
Yeah. So how important is a day like today in terms of raising awareness, do you think?
It's very important. I think we need to...
Because you've been named ambassadors, haven't you?
We have, yeah. It's quite an honour to be invited to be the ambassador family for cystic fibrosis. So it just means that for us we can be here and just help raise awareness throughout our community, and from there obviously just make it known, and hopefully we'll get lots of help in to just help aid research to help find a cure for this disease.
Because I imagine with not just one child with the disease but two, there are a lot of expenses incurred, Ben, in terms of treatment and medication. Is there enough government assistance as far as you're concerned?
There could always be more, but we're quite happy with it at the moment. There is a lot of expense though, and we do tend to struggle a little bit. There's medical equipment, there's medicines. It's very difficult for Alison to go out to work because she has responsibilities at home, and I've got to help as well. So yeah.
Well, congratulations on a beautiful family, and we wish you every well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to donate to Cystic Fibrosis Day, you can log on to the website. You'll find it at www.65rosesday.org.au, or you can donate by visiting your local LJ Hooker branch. Carl.
Great cause. Thanks, Georgie. Lovely family. Still to come. Forget Brad now.